Cam Brower for Cam's Mortgage Minute on Monday, January 14th. Hey, today I'm going to talk to you about some, cashback, well, not cashback necessarily, but down payment options. As you know, the mortgage rules have changed a lot, and pretty much these days you need 5% down payment to get into a mortgage. However, there is still some alternatives out there if you don't have the 5% quite saved up. I talk about this in my Cam's Mortgage Monthly newsletter this month. It's basically called Getting In Without Skin in the Game. And so if you get a chance, it'll be up in our websites tomorrow, so go check it out either Auxilium Mortgage or at camthemortgageman.com, and you'll find it there, and it's a little more in depth of what we're just going to talk about really quickly. So, some alternatives to the down payment. Well, still, believe it or not, as long as your credit score is good and we can find the right lender, they will still let you borrow for the down payment. That's right, you heard me. You can still use your line of credit, you can use a credit card, you can use whatever still for a down payment. However, you've obviously got to make sure that the payment costs for this are factored in, and the lender will do so. The other thing to bear in mind with these things is that sometimes they're cost prohibitive. I mean, using your Visa for a down payment, not necessarily a bright idea because the rates are probably going to be killer. However, possibly a secured line of credit with a low interest rate might make sense. So there's alternatives like that. The other option, obviously, for the down payment, if you don't have it, is a gifted down payment. That's right. If you're lucky enough, you have a generous family member who's willing to give you that 5% to kind of get you going. That's awesome. Some people sometimes wind up with an early inheritance. There's just other kinds of different things. So that's certainly helpful. Now, in that family department, a family member can still lend you money too. I mean, that's definitely possible. We had a recent situation. I had a client that basically their family gave them almost $200,000 for a down payment. It was virtually free because all they had to do was agree to pay it back over 25 years at 0% interest. So it was a heck of a deal for them. But if a family member like your mom, dad, or whoever is going to lend you the money, and let's say they've got their terms spelled out, as long as those terms fit the overall budget and make sure that you're still debt servicing, in other words, your ratios work and everything works, the lender is fine with that. So again, that's another alternative. You can look at your RSPs. That's right, this time of year we talk about it more and more, but the bottom line is that you can take up to $25,000 out of your RSPs, and you've got basically 15 years to repay that back over. I mean, it's a tremendous amount of time. I mean, you can repay that back in installments, so it's a really neat program from that point of view. And it's $25,000 per person, so that way if there's two of you buying the property together, you've never utilized your RSPs for it before, there you go, there's $50,000 for the down payment. Now, of course, there's a downside to that. You're going to pull your money out of your investments and they're not going to be earning you a return there. So you really have to do the math and make sure that that yield is going to be not as productive as, let's say, for example, or there's more advantage for you to buy, so you're not renting, paying rent, and other different factors, and make sure that return is there. So RSP is certainly a good alternative, and the other thing to bear in mind with that is make sure that when you factor those numbers in, you've thought about repaying it back, because you're going to have to start making the repayments on it, and if you don't pay it, the government penalizes you year after year. So definitely something to think about. Another thing that you can look at still, and believe it or not, well, it's not for this purpose, but if you do have your down payment, there are still options. There's cashback mortgages. As you know, like I said, cashbacks for you when used for the down payment are gone, but cashbacks as they are still exist. In other words, if you've got the down payment already covered, and let's say you need money for some renovations, some minor other expenses, or you want to, or like some clients of ours recently who wanted to pay off a line of credit, we were able to use the cashback component of the mortgage to be able to pay off that line of credit. So they were able to get rid of one payment and just have the mortgage alone. Now, of course, there's a cost to this. The lender will inherently, the few that are left doing it, will basically charge you in the form of a higher interest rate. But again, we can run the math for you and show you with the overall real difference between having borrowed it and not borrowed it. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. Again, it's something that you want to definitely look at. So again, a few interesting avenues still out there for those of you who don't have skin in the game. Like I said, we got RSPs, we got family, we've got other alternative sources for that money. And there is some situations even where there's affordable housing situations where the lenders are are willing to let the developer, the city, the municipality, whoever, even help out towards the down payment and with a plan or an installment plan on that. There are so many alternatives still out there. Again, give us a shout if you want to find out more information. If you need to learn more about this, it's Cam the Mortgage Man. You can call us at the Auxilium team. Always here to happy to help you out. And again, check out my newsletter tomorrow. It'll be on the site. It's a little more in depth about what we were talking about, getting in without skin in the game. Anyway, enjoy your day, and I will see you tomorrow.